So I can get started. So my name is Mandeep Ahuja, and I've been working for IFM 7 years now, providing Industry 4.0 solutions, mostly around OEE, predictive maintenance, a lot of which is vibration analysis, quality control, cameras, RFID, things like that, and also some of the modern IoT architectures, like we just heard about the Opto 22, more on the IoT side, gateway side, things like that. Before that, I was a SCADA developer. I did control rooms all across North America, building oil and gas control rooms for Holly Energy Refinery. I did the Marshall Shale Gas here in Pennsylvania, East Coast. Did the Phillips 66 control pipelines. And previously to that, I was a code monkey for 5 years. Wrote code for VoIP phone systems straight out of school. And I just want to thank Gary for letting me contribute to the book of CODESYS. That was kind of nice to put all the things we've learned about CODESYS into a book, and I use it every day to go through it, find the things I need to. So the presentation is about the challenges that the small and the medium-sized OEMs face. We'll talk about this topic. This is the agenda for my presentation, is how do we target small and medium-sized automation. We know the big boys out there that have majority of the controls architecture out there, controls platforms out there, but the small and medium-sized are not, they're not in that zone to have that kind of capital to go there. So let's get right into it. So what challenges today are faced by the small and the medium-sized OEMs? And the biggest one is, we all know, that is the capital, is the high upfront cost, because as soon as you say, hey, why don't you automate this machine, is first thing they're like, oh, now I need a cabinet, I need a PLC, I need an HMI, I need to have some decent computers to have software, more cost, and then sensors, and then wiring. So immediately they hesitate because there's a large capital expenditure required, immediately. And then now that you have that expensive equipment, you need people to use that equipment or kind of set that up. So the next barrier is, now they have to change their human resource. Now they need all types of different skill set, from electrical engineers, controls engineers, software engineers, tradesmen, and then they also need to update their sales force because now the equipment has changed. So it's no longer the electromechanical stuff or whatever manual things they were doing earlier. As soon as you bring automation, your expertise has to change, your technical expertise, which is another big barrier to get started in that sense. And following that, again, is the complexity. Can my machine even be automated? Or if I do, is there enough return on investment? What is it that I'm going to improve? And often that's the question I get asked, that, okay, IFM, you're pitching us your complete controls architecture, your complete controls system that you offer, but is it worth for me to go down that road? And we'll discuss that, some of the benefits that automation can bring to a small or medium-sized machine. And last but not the least is the resistance to change. And Some people, they're like, no, we don't want to go, we don't want to modernize, we don't want to learn another language, or we like the way things are. But again, if you show them what the benefits can be or how easy it can be to implement, we can certainly change their mind. And that's what we will talk about in a couple of slides, how IFM is helping small and medium-sized OEM to take that jump and not only take that jump, modernize their equipment, but actually save money. All right, so the application or CODESYS in the field, I'm going to talk about the seed coating machine at a farm called Whispering Willow Farm, which is in Indiana. So what's a seed coating machine, right? A seed coating machine is, think of it as vaccination for children. So you apply these organic materials to seeds so that they stay away from diseases, better germination rate, things like that. It's a very, and food is at the, the most basic thing a human needs is food. So there are not many out there in the USA. So this farmer took it on himself to kind of create that machine. So this is what it looks like. It's a, let me just turn my laser pointer on here so I can. All right. So what you have here is the farmer calls it box to box seed coating machine. What it is, you put a big box of seed here and it pushes through the auger and then dumps into another box and fully automated, fully complete. It looks very, very simple, and you can tell this is a very small sized OEM machine. And the farmer created his own website called farmerdesign.com, where you can actually go and look at more detail on what he's done here. So a very simple machine, and I'll talk more about the machine in a minute, but I just wanted to get started with what the machine looks like. So moving on to what the architecture looks like. So this is where IFM comes in, right? So at the heart of this is the IO-Link master. And IO-Link master, though if you don't know, is IO-Link is a universal consortium standard. It's not exclusive to IFM. It's where the sensors give out digital process values. So there's no longer 4 to 20 analog. If you have a flow meter like we have here, this flow meter can give you multiple process values through the same cable, same M12 cable. So the sensor gives you media temperature, flow rate, totalizer, and its sensor health, all from one sensor. You don't need to do a 4 to 20 conversions anymore. Also, it's immune to electrical interference. So that's the future of sensor technology. From analog to heart, now it's IO-Link, which is completely frequency domain signal transferring. So all of IFM sensors are over IO-Link. So you plug the sensors into an IO-Link master, and IO-Link masters are all IP67, so they don't need to go into a panel, and all the sensors are plug and play. So you're not fishing wires to make electrical enclosures. So a little bit what you're seeing here is on the bottom is the flow meter to measure the flow of the chemical going by. Here's the little capacitive switch to see if the seeds are there. You got some solenoids. You got the weighing scale to weigh the seed. You got some motors, Ethernet IP motors, which are daisy chained. And this controller, this IO-Link master is connected to our CODESYS controller. And we'll talk more about the controller, but this is a 12-inch screen that I'm showing here. It comes in various different shapes and sizes. The beauty about this controller is that it's an all-in-one ruggedized IP67 CODESYS display controller. So it does not require to be put in a panel. Like I said, we'll talk more about this in a bit. And then you got the printer to, for regulatory purposes, you got to print the batch and what kind of seed it was, what kind of weight it was, all that jazz here. And then you got your cell power supply, an e-stop button. But you can see immediately that I can draw an entire controls design on one PowerPoint slide, and it's not overwhelming at all. It's not an electrical drawing. Nevertheless, it's just a bunch of plug and play devices that you put together, right? So in the end, what does it look like? It looks like this. What you have here is a small panel. Sometimes I've seen panels bigger than the machine and they cost more than the machine. So the IFM's goal is to take the stuff out of the panel. Everything 24 volts, our goal is to take it out. So this is a small panel for power. You got your flow meters on the bottom here. This is the nice CODESYS display. Again, it's not sitting in a panel. You got your self-IO link master, which plugs into the sensors. And all of this is the farmer said he can put this together in his garage. So this one-man farmer has taken responsibility to build his machine. And you know, in your wildest thoughts, you wouldn't think that a farmer would deploy automation to his machines. Moving on, a very beautiful shot of the work that was done on this display. You got the machine, you got the application chemicals, you got the whole regulatory information that eventually gets printed, and it's a full touch screen. It's a 5-finger touch screen. It can detect up to 5 fingers. That's how powerful this controller is. And I'll show you the website in a little bit. But again, beautiful images, beautiful features available from CODESYS. Again, and I said this already, it's an all-in-one IP67 PLC HMI. So what comes in the end is the scalability. So now it was such a big hit. Like I said, there's only 2 companies in the US that make this. And this farmer already has, I think, 7 in the past 3 months, 7 of these sold, and how quickly he can scale this and send this out. He's been at different trade shows where farmers come around, and they're all blown away that, you know, a little machine like that can be fully automated, like I said earlier, box to box seed coding. And it's all because how the automation has changed over the years. It's IP67, it's ruggedized, it can be quickly plug and played, the controllers are modern, the cost is low, things like that. So how, again, I'm going to repeat myself here, how can IFM and CODESYS give automation for all? So first thing, it's a low code, no code platform. And we heard from another grower earlier that, you know, it's quite easy to program. Especially if you have IO link components, you're not doing any analog conversions. The sensor itself gives you processed values, and with the CODESYS software, you can easily create your self-automation solution. Then the big one is the remote support and visibility. So once you have brought automation to your machine, the biggest thing is that now you can remotely service it and have visibility to it remotely. And that's what this farmer said. He said, even if I save myself one less trip, it pays for the entire automation. So going back to the high entry barrier, if you can ask them, hey, how much does it cost you to fly somewhere and look at your machine? They will immediately accept automation from that. I have some customers that I personally program for as an integrator, and I never leave my desk. I sit here, I remote into the machine through the VPN, and I can update or troubleshoot or anything like that. So that is one of the biggest benefits that come in this modern world that CODESYS and automation brings to the forefront. It also gives you a very competitive edge. Now your machines they shine differently. You know, now they're scalable. You have modern features. You know, it gives you a high competitive edge. You can quickly change things. You can configure things. And another big thing is your build velocity goes up. Since we are now using all IP67, IP69K components, you're not sending to a panel shop where they have to build the thing for you. And you're not redesigning your panels all the time. You're not like, hey, I need another IO card that needs to be? No, everything is field mounted. Even IFM now has power supplies that are field mounted. So anything 24 volts can now be distributed out and mounted out on the machine. And we understand that how expensive panels can be, especially maintaining them, debugging them all the time. So your machine production uh, goes up. Your build velocity exponentially goes up. All right. So now I wanted to introduce you to what we've done. So going on this effort that IFM has, we are on a mission to bring automation to all these standalone skids and machines. We've launched a new controller. We call it the 4.3 display controller. It's a small, ruggedized 4-inch display with a PLC built in that has a horsepower of 10 control logics, which is where we want to change the game in the automation world. So it looks like this. So this is the all-in-one display controller, and you can see this. This is a screen. It comes with a keypad or no keypad, touch screen, and the back is fully ruggedized. Just simple M12 connectors. One is Ethernet and one is power, and that's all you need. And because everything else is a distributed I/O, you can buy Ethernet IP or Modbus modules. Bring in all your I/O link sensor, digital sensors, analog, any type of I/O can be brought in. And you've probably never seen this price point before. Because IFM is a hardware manufacturer, we have our own production, on manufacturing, so we are able to bring this cost down drastically. And to talk about some of the features, it runs on the latest, greatest runtime from CODESYS 3.5 SP19. It's a dual core ARM processor, 64-bit with a, so like I said, it has a power of many control logics built in, decent flash and memory. It's got the Modbus TCP and Ethernet IP and the IIoT library from CODESYS. So all your IIoT functions from HTTP to MQTT, OPC, all that are already part of, you don't need to buy an extra license. Of course, this product is from our mobile team. CAN Open, CAN J1939 is super crucial to every mobile equipment. It's very, very high resolution, very bright, sunlight readable, so it can be mounted outside. One thing I forgot to mention, this is from our mobile division. So think about like garbage trucks, cement trucks, the buggies at the Detroit airport. They all deploy the IFM controller. And and so when you turn on your engine, you want your display turning on. So we have a goal that when somebody turns on the key on their equipment, the controller is up and running within 6 seconds. And that's a big differentiator from the industrial world to the mobile, because the industrial world, you can have 30 seconds to a minute, but we can't afford that when a cab driver is ready to rock and roll by turning the car on. So very high speed. Again, like I said, IP65, 67 mounting. You can mount it through a RAM mount or a panel mount. All types of mounting is available. So this is our latest, greatest product. We want to be out there providing automation to who's never thought of it before. And that's it. That was the presentation.